It's Monday morning. You're staring at your screen, coffee in hand, already exhausted at the thought of the week ahead. Your to-do list is endless, and just as you're about to dig in, your boss schedules another quick check-in at 5 p.m. What if I told you that a medieval peasant might look at your life and say, "Wow, that's rough." Before you scoff, let's unpack one of capitalism's most enduring myths, that modern life freed us from hard labor. Sure, we don't plow fields or build cathedrals by hand anymore, but are we really better off? We've all been sold the idea that medieval peasants worked endlessly from dawn to dusk, living a life of unrelenting misery. However, the reality is far more nuanced. Modern workers often compare the 40-hour workweek to the grueling 80-hour weeks of the Industrial Revolution. But before factories, life was slower, work was intermittent, and free time was abundant. Consider the snapshot from 1570. Bishop James Pilkington described the rhythms of medieval labor, writing, "The laboring man will take his rest long in the morning. At noon he must have his sleeping time, and at night, at the first stroke of the clock, he casteth down his tools." Feasting, napping, and stopping work at the first toll of the bell doesn't sound so bad, does it? Oxford professor James Thorold Rogers estimated that medieval peasants worked an average of 8 hours per day, depending on the season. During peak summer, they might work from 3 a.m. to dusk, but in winter, agricultural work slowed, leaving plenty of time for rest and indoor tasks. Modern workers, on the other hand, clock about 260 days annually. Compare that to manorial records from the 14th century, which show servile laborers working only 175 days a year. In fact, economist Juliet Shore found that during periods of especially high wages, such as in 14th century England, peasants might work as few as 150 days annually. One of the most striking differences between medieval and modern life was the sheer number of holidays. The Church, keen on maintaining social order and preventing rebellion, enforced frequent mandatory rest days. These included saints' feast days, seasonal celebrations, and of course, Sundays. Far from being mere indulgences, the abundance of holidays in medieval life was deeply intertwined with religious practices and the agricultural calendar. These holidays had a purpose. Rest days often coincided with critical moments in farming, such as planting or harvesting seasons, where religious festivals provided a natural pause in labor-intensive periods. This system wasn't arbitrary. It was strategically aligned with the seasons to prevent overworking during physically demanding times. In England, peasants enjoyed up to 80 feast days annually. Travel accounts from medieval Spain even remarked on the abundance of non-working days, with some regions boasting up to 5 months of holidays each year. By contrast, today's workers scrape by with just 2 to 3 weeks of paid vacation. And it wasn't just the formal holidays. Villages often hosted spontaneous celebrations like wake ales, which were fundraisers for funerals, or church ales to support the local parish. These events were lively community gatherings where villagers took pride in brewing ale for the occasion, turning it into a source of friendly competition and merriment. Such gatherings reinforced social bonds and offered a mutual support during tough times, like poor harvest or illness. Even in the height of summer, peasants found time to celebrate. On Midsummer's Day, also known as St. John's Day, they'd gather for one last big celebration before the heavy work began. Sure, they didn't have Netflix, but they didn't need it. Their version of binge watching included ale, dancing, and storytelling around the fire. So who's really winning here? Share your thoughts in the comments below. The frantic pace of modern work would be unrecognizable to medieval peasants. Many of the images we have of medieval labor, like people toiling endlessly by candlelight, are actually projections from the Industrial Revolution. The tempo of medieval work was slow and deliberate. As Bishop Pilkington wrote, "When the clock smiteth, he will cast down his burden in the midway, and leave his work in what need or case soever the work standeth." Now that's work-life balance. Even during peak harvest times, peasants enjoyed multiple breaks throughout the day: breakfast, lunch, an afternoon nap, and even a beaver, which was a light afternoon snack. Their approach to work might seem foreign to us today, but they weren't rushing through life. Maybe we've been doing it wrong all along. Interestingly, researchers have observed that this rhythm of frequent breaks, combined with lower annual working days and diets based on locally sourced foods, contributed to lower rates of certain chronic diseases compared to early Industrial Revolution workers. Did we learn something from the past? Of course, life wasn't all rest and parties. Peasants earned their income primarily from farming, but the cost of their livelihood was steep. Rent to their lords and a 10% tithe to the church. This tithe, often paid in kind with seeds, livestock, or other goods, significantly limited their ability to save resources for future planting or emergencies, especially during poor harvest years. On top of this, they faced additional taxes, including fees for using mills, ovens, or grazing common land, which further eroded their already meager incomes. I guess no matter the era, high taxes are always a thing. To make ends meet, many peasants diversified their income by raising livestock or engaging in small-scale crafts, particularly in years when crops failed. Despite these financial pressures, there were moments, especially in the late 14th century, when high wages led laborers to work less, not more. Economists called this phenomenon the backward-bending labor supply curve. As wages increased, workers chose to supply less labor, prioritizing leisure over additional income. This was especially pronounced in the aftermath of the Black Death, which decimated Europe's population and caused severe labor shortages. With fewer workers available, surviving peasants gained unprecedented bargaining power. They demanded higher wages and more flexibility, often reducing their working days to as few as 120 days per year. This allowed them to meet their basic needs while enjoying leisure time and engaging in communal activities. While today we chase raises, overtime, and promotions, medieval peasants took a different approach. They worked smarter, not harder. Some could even afford to refuse work that interfered with their lifestyles or traditions. Imagine telling your boss, 3 months of work is plenty for me this year. However, this balance of work and leisure, while appealing, came with significant risks. With no safety nets and heavy reliance on good harvests, peasants were highly vulnerable to economic shocks. Bad weather, poor yields, or political instability could quickly wipe out any gains from their newfound flexibility. Moreover, the high infant mortality rate, where nearly 20% of children didn't survive past infancy, forced families to have many children, further straining resources. For many peasants, though, the trade-off between time and toil seemed worth it. They found ways to live within their means, prioritizing leisure and community over relentless work and career success. It's a concept as fascinating as it is foreign to modern life, where the pursuit of wealth often overshadows the value of time. That's not to say medieval life was easy. Physical labor like plowing fields, hauling water, and caring for livestock was backbreaking. Household tasks like gathering firewood, baking bread, and spinning wool were time-consuming, and livestock demanded daily care, holidays or not. But peasants shared the load. Families and villages worked together for major tasks like haying or road building, creating a sense of community modern life often lacks. Today, our challenges are different. We face burnout, anxiety, and the endless barrage of emails. Just as peasants worried about plague, rats, modern workers, blue-collar and white-collar alike worry about job security, rising costs, and ever-increasing workloads. Thanks to the constant pressure to stay productive. Let us know in the comments below which times would you prefer to live in. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to stay notified of more fascinating insights on Binge History.